endless. Find a long spine, but use the back of the chair to relax. So just kind of taking a moment here to ground into your feet, kind of feel them on the ground beneath you. And then just resting your hands in your lap. Just allow your shoulders to kind of settle in. If you notice there's some tension that you're holding onto in your shoulders, kind of note that and see if you can soften that with your exhales. Start to notice the quality of your breathing. When you inhale, can you fill your low belly with oxygen? When you exhale, can you just allow all your muscles to soften a little bit more? Good, and then when you notice your mind starts to wander off or your eyes start to open to shapes that are moving around you, just close your eyes and come back to your breathing. Becoming aware of the rise and the fall of the inhale and the exhale. Been pretty windy the past couple days outside. We're going to use the wind and do a little visualization to start class today. So keeping your eyes closed, we're going to do some visualization. And if you find that it's really hard for you to imagine things or visualize things, just know that that's pretty normal. And if you're having a hard time visualizing it, it's not working, or you're finding yourself getting more agitated, just close your eyes and come back to your breathing. But I want you to picture in your mind your favorite body of water. So whether that's the ocean, a lake in Utah, or somewhere else, picture somewhere, some sort of water that you like going to or you think is beautiful. And then I want you to envision the wind that's been outside all week being at that location. What that would do to the top of the water. The wind is blowing. You're imagining you're on a boat or floating in the water and it's windy. What would that feel like? Probably being tossed around by the waves, pretty choppy on the surface. Now I want you to imagine or visualize yourself going under the water. If that freaks you out, you can turn into a fish that can breathe underwater, or you can be in some sort of submarine, but just imagine yourself going beneath the water. And the further down we get into the water, the less we notice what's happening on the top of the water. So even when it's super windy outside and the tops of the waves are choppy and rough, there's something beneath that. But if we go down deep enough, it's still. Just imagine yourself there in very calm water. No disturbances down here. Quiet, peaceful. Good. Continue breathing just as you are. Let's start to bring our body into this practice. So tall spine, you can still have it rested up against the back of your chair. Eyes still closed. Let's just drop our left ear to our left shoulder. Just notice how that extends or lengthens the right side of your neck, and breathe into that muscle. Inhale, bringing your neck back to center, and then exhale, Bringing your opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. Just noticing if there is one side of your neck and shoulders that's a little bit tighter today. Inhale back to center. You can keep your eyes closed here if you'd like, or you can open them, but we're going to start to scoot away from the back of our chair. So using our core to hold our spine really long, let's drop our left ear back to our left shoulder. Maybe the ear gets a little bit closer to the shoulder this time around. Option to stay right here, or if you want to bring your left hand to the right side of your head and just gently add a little bit more length there. If you want to bring your right hand down to the right side of your chair and really stretch your fingers in the direction of the floor, creating the most space we can. And the muscle that connects your head all the way to your collarbone. Deep inhale, directing all of your oxygen to that muscle, sending it some love. Exhale, just allowing everything to soften. Slowly removing both of your hands, placing them on your lap, and then inhale to come back to a neutral spine. Exhale, opposite ear to opposite shoulder. And then again, just notice at first how it feels to not add any extra pressure, but just allowing that muscle to lengthen on its own. And if you'd like to, you can take your right hand to the left side of your head. Just gently pull down. Option to stay right here or stretch your left fingers down to the ground. Good. Slowly moving your hands back to your lap. Inhale to a neutral spine. Starting to move a little bit further down to the shoulders. Let's take our fingertips to our shoulder tops. Just inhale, bring your elbows out to the sides. And then inhale again and bring your elbows in front of you. So fingertips are still on shoulder tops. We're just touching our elbows together in front of us. Starting to feel some length through our back. Exhale to open up through your shoulders. See if you can peel your elbows further back, getting your shoulder blades closer together. Good. Open up through your chest. Exhale, bring your elbows back to touching in front of you. Maybe round a little bit more through your spine on this one. Bring some of your low back into it. And then inhale, sit up really tall, pressing your elbows back, shoulder blades together. Good. Exhale, just coming back to neutral, resting your hands down at your sides for a moment. And then inhale, bring your fingertips back up to your shoulders. Just do some shoulder circles. So this is one of the best movements if you find that you have tightness through your shoulders throughout the workday. This is going to really hydrate your shoulder joint. You might find that you're sitting for a couple hours, you're working, you're not really moving your shoulders, and then when you go to move them, they'll pop or grind. And that's just because the joint is dried out because we haven't moved it. So this movement will keep it from getting stiff for the day. Inhale, arms down to the sides. Good. Let's find some final movement. So I'm just going to hold on to the bottom of my chair or my chair leg with my right hand, and I'm going to inhale my left hand overhead. Just starting to find some length through my side body. Inhale, I'm going to bring my left hand down to my left chair leg, and my right hand's going to come up overhead. And your gaze can go up toward your lifted hand if that feels okay, and your neck can look down the left side of your chair, or it can look straight on. Just kind of notice how that feels in your neck. Inhale, bring your right hand down to the right chair leg. Left hand comes up overhead. Good. Inhale one more time. Left hand down, right hand up. Inhale back to center. Let's bring our left hand to our right knee, right hand behind us. Again, we always grow our spine before we move it in any direction. So I'm going to sit up really tall, and then on an exhale, I'm going to start to rotate my chest to the right. Just twisting out through your spine. Gaze might go over that right shoulder. Inhale, coming back to center. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind you on the chair. Gaze might look over that left shoulder. Good. Inhale back to center. Good. Just kind of notice the difference, how that feels on your neck and shoulders. If you could do that once a day, it might make you feel better at work. We're going to stand up and have a little bit more movement for today. So we need a chair or a desk, something that we can put our weight onto that's not going to move. So if you have a chair that's swivel chair, you might want to use your desk, the edge of your desk. If you don't have either of those, using a wall, I don't know if my wall's in frame, you can use a wall as well to push against. But we're going to learn what a lot of yogis call sun salutation. So this is a movement that they'll do right in the morning to wake up their body and strengthen their body. So if you've ever wanted like a little yoga practice to practice every single day, these are really great movements. And we'll do the chair ones, and then if you have space where you're at to do a floor one, we'll show you what a floor one looks like as well. So starting out, just plant your feet hip width apart. Inhale, both hands up overhead. Lengthen towards the ceiling. Gaze goes up towards the ceiling. Bend through your knees, hinge through your hips, dive forward. Just planting your hands on your seat or your desk. And then just allow your head to hang heavy. So just a forward fold here. Bending through your knees as much as you need to. Good. Inhale, start to lengthen through your elbows. Find a half lift. So my elbows are lengthened and my spine is long here. Good. Exhale. I'm going to step my feet away about 1 foot from my chair, and I'm going to find a grip on it that feels pretty durable. And I'm going to do a little mini push-up. So I'm rotating my elbow creases forward, and I'm just bending my elbows as much as I'm comfortable with. And then inhale, come up. Good. And then step your feet closer to your chair. Rest your hands on top of your chair and let your head hang heavy. Good. Inhale the half lift again, so lengthening through your elbows. And then slightly bend through your knees. Get more weight back into your hips, and then inhale both hands up overhead. Good. That was a sun salutation. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. So yogis wake up and they do 10 of those a day. So we're going to do a couple more on the chair, and then I'll show you how they do it on the floor. We'll just get some movement today. So inhale, both hands up overhead. Exhale, bend through your knees, hinge through your hips, forward fold. Hands on the chair, just let your head hang heavy. Inhale to half lift, so lengthen through your elbows, straighten through your spine. Find the edges of your chair and then step back about a foot. This is where our push-up comes in. So we're going to rotate our elbow creases so they're facing the chair, facing forward. And I'm just going to bend them as much as I'm comfortable with, and that might be 1/2 inch today. Go down as far as you're comfortable. Maybe go down a little bit so you're shaking, and then inhale, come back up. Step your feet closer to that chair, and then find that forward fold again. So just letting your head hang heavy. Inhale, coming up to a half lift. And then exhale, bend through your knees. Inhale, both hands up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Just close your eyes here for a minute and notice how you feel. Maybe your heart rate's a little bit more elevated. Maybe you can feel that push up in your arms. That's good too. Let's do that one more time with the chair. Inhale, both hands up overhead. Exhale, bend through your knees, hinge through your hips. Bring your hands to your chair, forward fold, let your head hang heavy. Inhale, hands go to chair, lengthen through your elbows, half lift. Exhale, step back about a foot, find a good hold on your chair or your desk. Elbow creases forward, slowly lower down as far as you'd like. And then inhale to come back up. Good, exhale, step forward, find that forward fold again. Good, slight bend through your knees, inhale, both hands up overhead. Extended mountain reach up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna do that one more time with the chair because it feels good. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, hinge through your hips, slight bend through your knees, find a forward fold. Inhale, hands lengthen on the chair, half lift. Exhale, step back, find a good hold. Elbow creases forward, exhale as you slowly lower down. Build some strength. Inhale, back up, beautiful. Step a little closer to your chair. Exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through your hands, half lift, then slight bend through your knees. Load your weight in your hips and inhale all the way up. Hands to heart center, and then pull your hands down to heart center. Good. So I'm gonna step away from my chair. I'm gonna do a floor version of that. If you'd like to try the floor version and you have space, please join me. If not, just do another chair one. So inhale, both hands up overhead. Exhale, bend through your knees, hinge through your hips, come into a forward fold. So bend your knees as deeply as you need to get all 10 fingertips down onto the floor. Then inhale, hands come to shins now, half lift, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, bend your knees, plant both hands down and step your feet back. So we're in this upside down V shape. Downward facing dog. Good. First time we've ever done a downward facing dog in this class. It's exciting. We're gonna inhale and shift forward, find high plank. So shoulders stacked over wrists. From here we have options. You can stay on your toes or you can drop down to your knees, your choice. Either way, we're gonna lower down, elbow creases forward to our chest. Good, this is the only different part. So the chair version of this doesn't have this. We're gonna press into our palms and just peel our chest off the mat. Coming into cobra, get a nice little back extension. Good, exhale, lower your chest back down. Press back to your knees. Tuck your toes under and find down dog again, upside down V shape. Inhale, gaze goes in between your hands. Then step your feet forward, one at a time until you're back in that forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, half lift. Exhale, we're gonna bend deeply through our knees, sit our weight back into our hips, and then inhale, both hands up overhead. Hands up overhead, and exhale, pull your hands down to heart center. Good job. We're gonna try that one more time, your choice. You can try it on the chair, you can try it on the floor, try it on the wall, you get to choose, but let's move through that one more time. And try and match your breathing with your movement. So inhale, hands up. Exhale, hinge forward through your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins. Exhale, plant your hands down, step your feet back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to high plank. From knees or toes, lower down to your belly. Inhale, pressing into your palms, cobra. And then exhale back to knees and then toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze goes in between your hands and then step your feet forward. Bring your hands to your shins, half lift. Exhale, fingertips back down to the floor, deep bend through your knees. sit your weight back and inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good job, you guys. Let's find our chair again. Those are called sun salutations. Sanskrit, they're called Surya Namaskar A. And if you want a little practice to do every day, whether you use the chair or whether you use the floor, it's really going to help build stability and strength in your body. So highly recommend incorporating that into your day. Back to seated. Let's just bring both hands to our heart. Close your eyes and notice how that activity impacted your physical body. If you can feel it in your arms or your shoulders. Just take a deep inhale. We can bring that heart rate back down. Good. Deeper you breathe, the more you're going to bring that heart rate back down. Beautiful. Exhale, let's scoot away from the back of the chair. Tall spine, core engaged. Let's do figure four on each side, just lengthening a little bit through our hips. I know I need it every week, so maybe you guys do too. So I'm going to bring my left shin, or my left, kind of my calf, to my right leg. So we're just doing that figure four again. And from there, just roll out through your left ankle, and noticing how your foot and ankle feel today. And then maybe switching directions. If you can already feel this in your left hip, stay right here. If you want to inhale, tall spine, exhale, bring your chest closer to that lifted leg. You can do that. You can also bring your forearms down to your left leg. Good. We say it a lot in yoga, but it's called playing to your edge. So you want to feel sensation, but not pain. So if you're up here and you don't really feel that through your hip, it's a good indication you need to lean into it a little bit more. Everyone's edge is different, so just listen to your body. Deep breath here. Direct that entire inhale to your hip. Good. Inhale, both hands come up. If you hinged forward, come back up to a tall spine. Exhale, just extend that leg out long in front of you, kind of allowing the circulation from your hip to regulate, and then set it back down. Let's switch sides. So the right leg is going to come up in the figure four, really right above my right ankle. That's what I'm resting on the top of my left leg. And then just kind of notice if that hip's tighter. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, you can bring your chest closer to your leg to feel sensation if you don't currently feel it. You can rest your forearms on that leg and breathe here. Notice what your shoulders do when you're lengthening another part of your body. You might have a tendency to tense up. Try and let your head hang heavy as much as you can. Really breathing into the right hip. Good. Inhale, both hands come up. And then tall spine, take a seated child's pose. So knees are going to come wide. And if you guys have space, because you created it with the sun salutations, and you have space to do a lying down child's pose, you are absolutely welcome to. I'll show you both really quick. So seated child's pose, really tall spine. We're just going to come forward, bring our elbows to our knees. And if this feels comfortable, we're going to stop here. If it feels comfortable to bring our hands down in between our feet and let our head hang heavy, we can do that. The child's pose that's on the ground, one of my favorite poses, is you bring your knees wide, big toes touching, and then you sink your hips back to your heels. You walk your hands forward till your forehead is either down on the floor, or you can stack your fists and rest your forehead on that. Your choice, whichever one you want to do, whichever one you have space for. Wherever you're at, take 5 deep breaths there. Inhale, slowly coming back up to seated. And making your way to a restful ending posture. So back can be up against the chair. Just relaxing into it, allowing your core to relax, allowing your low back to relax. Hands resting in your lap. A lot of the time in yoga, we end with our palms facing up. And this is a symbol of receiving. If you want to receive something good, face your palms up and really think about what it is you need. Good. Close your eyes here. Come back to that breathing. And come back to that visualization if you found that peaceful or calming that we started with. So imagining what choppy water might look like on the surface. What might move things very easily. Easy to get lost in choppy water. We're going to imagine that we're going down beneath the surface. And the deeper we get into the water, the stiller it becomes, more calm it becomes. Imagining or staying with that really calm, heavy water that's not so easily stirred by what's on the surface. You might hear in Buddhism the idea of nirvana. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's full enlightenment is kind of how it's explained. But the word nirvana is actually translated as to a place without wind. A place where the external doesn't impact what's going on inside. And just staying there a couple more rounds of breath. Slowly starting to wiggle your fingers, taking some deeper inhales and exhales. Opening your eyes, maybe taking a full body stretch. Hands come up overhead. Good. Coming back to your Wednesday. Exhale, coming to just a comfortable seat. You can use the back of the chair. You can scoot away from it. Option to bring your hands to heart center. Symbol of gratitude in yoga. The divine light that's in me deeply honors and sees that same light in each one of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.